Welcome to Face the State. I'm Ariana Bennett. Thank you for joining us. More than 3.5 million passengers came through the Reno-Tahoe International Airport in 2016, a record-breaking number. And if you weren't one of them, you might be surprised to see how the airport has changed over the last few years. So what's next for our main travel hub, and do all these changes come with any new destinations? Airport CEO Mora is here now to talk about that. Mary, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
We're thrilled to have you. Now, it was a record-breaking year in 2016, 6.4% growth from 2015. Are we on track to do that again in 2017?
We're going to do even better this year. So far this year, we're up 10%. So I think at the end of the year, our number is going to be better than what we did last year in 2016.
Wow. So what would you say is contributing to this growth?
Well, we've had 16 new flights over about a 22-month period, so that's really contributing to it. I think when you look at how the economic diversification we're having in our community, that really has contributed, and I think people are just feeling good about traveling again.
So is it a boost in tourism and business, or is it mostly business?
It's a boost in both. You know, our traffic is really pretty much 50-50 between business and tourism. So I think we're seeing that happen on both sides of the equation. I can tell you we saw a huge bump in our numbers when school got out.
Yeah.
And so I think families are feeling confident about traveling again if you compare what was happening during the recession.
Right. So just in terms of people having a little bit more expendable income.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, with having more air service now, there are more options out of our community. And I think if people plan ahead, we're really promoting in the community that there's some pretty good airfare deals out there if you plan ahead or if you go on the right day of the week. So I think people are doing some smart buying in terms of travel.
Yeah, I think I saw there's like a $97 round trip to, is it Long Beach? Is that what it is?
Yes, we've had some great deals. And frankly, one of the things we're doing with the community is every week we send out a bulletin on Thursdays. What are the airfare deals coming up? And so we're getting a pretty wide distribution for that. But if you look ahead and look around, you can get some deals.
Okay, so with all this growth and new people coming in, are you finding that the airport is having to add more amenities and more services and change from the airport we know and love?
Well, you know, we're not a generic airport, and what I love to say is that we really try to express to people coming and going out of our airport, let's talk about the beautiful things in this community. For number one, we're really promoting the outdoors. So one of the things we're looking at is what are some new food and beverage offerings that we're going to have. And we've got about 3,500 square feet that we're going to be putting out for opportunity, and we're really focusing on, you know, local companies, whether they be food and beverage providers or local retail that could come to the airport. So we're excited about having that in the near term.
And that's something that I think people are probably used to seeing in the bigger airport hubs. You know, if you go to Seattle or San Francisco, you'll find that they have in their airport the real popular local businesses where you can go and you can get the clam chowder or the sourdough bread or whatever it is that people like in those local places.
Absolutely, and we're going to have more of that, but right now we feature the local craft beers. We have a fairly new product on our C concourse called Tap and Pour that has local craft beers, kind of a healthier menu. So we really hope to have some other exciting things coming forward from our community down the line.
Yeah, and another thing you guys are doing is this new lounge. There's never been a lounge, right? At the
There
airport?
has not, and it's sort of it's something new in airports. It's what's called a common use lounge. It's not associated with an airline, but if you're a Platinum American Express holder, you'll get into this club free. It's called Escape Lounge. We're going to be the 4th location in the U.S. It's actually UK, United Kingdom, Manchester Airports Group that's now come to the U.S. with this product, and they're going to be partnering with one of the local top chefs here. They've got it down to 2, and there will be the local food. You'll have, you know, for the price of admission, you get some food and certainly a beverage. So we think, you know, it's just like another amenity for our customers. And I think when you see a lot more business travelers using the airport, this is probably something that they will really enjoy.
So there's a big demand for that.
I think there will be a demand. I think you're also going to see people that we're going to see the local casinos, we're going to see the ski resorts, we're going to see a lot of other partners that are going to see this as an amenity for their customers.
What's the cost to get in?
Well, if you book ahead, it's $40. If you book the day of, it's $45. And again, if you're American Express Platinum card holder, you'll get in free.
Okay, so if you find yourself with a layover or a delay for weather or whatever, that's maybe a place you could go.
It is, and it's actually taking the place of our art gallery. We'll find another place for our art gallery, but it's going to have beautiful views out, huge windows out onto looking at the airfield. So it's going to be a really, really nice area of the airport.
Okay, now the airport also announced a few new flights. United to Chicago, it's another direct flight to Chicago. There's already one, right?
Yeah, we already have some service, but you know, you can't get too much to Chicago, I would say, and this is an evening flight to Chicago. But what it means is expansion by United Airlines. We're really, really excited about that flight having started earlier and just recently. And also we have Southwest Airlines, which has a flight now to San Jose, and they join Alaska Airlines in that market. And while there's one flight now in August and through the end of the year, Southwest will have 2 flights to San Jose. So really great, you know, Chicago's important. What we've done is really grow the service to the San Francisco Bay Area. A year ago, San Jose, you know, besides San Jose, we had Oakland service with 3 flights a day from Southwest, and that's going very, very well. And in the LA Basin, we got Orange County, we got Long Beach. We have more service now to the LA Basin than we've had before. So really focusing on those key areas, you know, in California. But again, we've had JetBlue to JFK for 2 years now, and that flight is doing tremendous.
Okay, now it seems like every time we turn around, there's a new flight coming to the airport. I know you guys are always looking for new opportunities. So is there room to keep expanding, or are you going to hit a critical mass at a certain point?
You know, we've got room to expand, and we are actually in a master plan process now. We haven't done a master plan in 20 years, and now we're doing one because of our growth. But if you look at that, we handled 3.6 million. There was a time a number of years ago that we handled over 5 million. So we've got room. I mean, really, we're gaining back some of the traffic, the passenger traffic we lost during the recession. And that was pretty similar for other airports of our size. But we're doing a master plan to really look at what is this growth in our community. Over 50,000 new jobs. What does that mean for the airport? What do autonomous cars mean for, you know, bringing people to the airport? Are they going to park at the airport or take their cars? They're going to be sent back home. So it's a lot of changes that we're going to see in the future in our community, and that's why we're doing a master plan right now.
Okay. Now, speaking of new flights, one of the big gets a few years ago was this direct flight to London, which then didn't happen because we had some issues with Customs and Border Patrol, and I understand there's been a little bit of a solution to that issue, so can you tell us about that?
I sure can, because you know, our congressional delegation last year, our congressional delegation doesn't always agree on everything, but they did agree on our issue with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And there was they got passed in last December the Cross-Border Trade Enhancement Act. And what that meant is that there is a new mechanism where we could actually pay for a customs officer, an additional one at Reno-Tahoe International. Not that we wanted to pay for one, but there was no other path forward for us to really grow our international capability. So we had 2 officers and a port director. Now we're going to pay for another officer. And what's that? That's going to mean our flight from Guadalajara on Volaris is that right now that processing time for primary processing is 90 minutes. Getting another officer in there will probably reduce it to 60 minutes. So that's good news. It'll mean rather than just having 3 flights with Volaris in the future, we'll probably see that Mexico service growing down the road.
Now, will that open the door to possibly getting the London flight back or any other international destination?
You know, we're looking, I think really the most immediate international destination that we're looking at right now is Vancouver service. And of course, people that travel to Vancouver, they would be pre-cleared in customs in Canada prior to coming back. But that's really the most immediate international destination that we're working on right now, and really hopeful to get Vancouver service, because this community a number of years ago used to have scheduled service to Vancouver.
Okay. Now, what else is on your wish list? What are your big gets that you really
Well,
want?
we hear lots of things from the community, but I would say Washington, D.C. is certainly at top of people's lists. We have Atlanta service that's seasonal on Delta Airlines. We'd love to see that go daily. Boston is also a big market. And you know, we used to have service to Elko, and we'd really like to see service reinstated, get service again to Elko. So those are kind of things on the top of our list, and Minneapolis service year-round. So we've got a pretty big wish list, but we've worked very closely with RSCVA on their markets, and really work closely with the business community, EDON and others, to really target those areas that are of interest to our community. And we're always looking at the numbers, because at the end of the day, you have to have the number of people to support the flight.
Okay, in terms of the actual structure of the building, is that going to change anymore? I mean, you guys already had a big project moving security downstairs and redoing the terminals. Is that it, or are we going to see more?
Right now we're in pretty good shape, because in the last 8 years we've done the 2 big projects, the inline baggage handling system, and consolidating about 4.5 years ago, consolidating our checkpoints. So we're in pretty good shape in terms of the building itself. Our concourses are a little narrow by today's standards, and so we'd really like to have an opportunity to have wider concourses. But that's the whole purpose of having a master plan. When would we build another concourse? When would we build another new Federal Inspection Service facility? So those are outcomes that we're really going to see in our master plan, next year.
Could you guys grow? I mean, obviously there's a finite amount of space where you are now, but if Reno continues to grow like it has been and turns into more of a big city, can you guys grow to accommodate big city traffic, or would you have to open up another location somewhere?
We're not going anywhere. We're in our location where we're staying, and it's such a convenient location. So we're really looking at, the best the best use of the land, the 1,500 acres that we do have at Reno-Tahoe International, and that's the purpose of really this master plan process.
And there's enough land.
There's enough land. We're in good shape. And it may mean that our parking garage across the street goes up another level. It may mean our surface parking lot has to have several levels. So all of those things. But right now we're so convenient. You can pick up a rental car right across the street. You can have long-term parking right across the street. Those are all kinds of things that we want to make sure that we stay as a very convenient airport, both for our local community and also people coming into our community.
Okay, well, we're just about out of time, but before we go, is there any last message you want people to know?
TSA PreCheck is working great in our community. Over 50% of the people that use the checkpoint are on TSA PreCheck, so it means a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, I got to do that. Right, Marilee.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. All right, coming up on Face the State, Northern Nevada's economy is looking pretty good these days, but not everyone is feeling the effects equally. I'll sit down with Nevada's chief economist to find out whether Nevadans are getting raises. That's right after the break.